somewhere I've never been before today. Extraordinarily exciting day for me today. Got to meet our US Congressman, Mr. G.T. Thompson. Thanks for taking the time to come to the greatest city in the world today.
My pleasure. Great to be here. Great to convene a group of local folks to be able to hear firsthand their observations on what are the things to obviously to celebrate. You said greatest city. I love the way you define Kittanning.
Absolutely.
But it's also about there's always struggles, there's always issues, and so this helps for me to be able to identify and prepare to do a better job of representing this area by hearing firsthand, from the folks who live here, and quite frankly, I always work hard to identify some homegrown solutions to the issues we're facing.
Absolutely. I'm incredibly impressed that you're here today, and I was impressed with the meeting and just your heart for the area as well. So wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we'll get to see you again soon.
You betcha. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, I've never had an excuse to come out to Snyder Companies here, but today I just couldn't pass up the opportunity to meet our U.S. Congressman. He put together a little committee here in Armstrong County to kind of be eyes and ears on the ground for him to help him do his job better. And man, I was just so impressed with this meeting. And I'm not going to pass up an opportunity to plug Kittanning and to try to get any kind of help that we can, whether it's from a local, county, state, or federal level. Anything that we can do to make Kittanning a better place to live, I'm going to be all over that. So I couldn't believe I got invited to be here, but there were some real heavy hitters in the room. Some of the biggest names in Armstrong County were there, and I don't know, it's an honor. It's an honor and a privilege. And honestly, thank you for subscribing to this channel. I'm not sure if I would be here if the YouTube channel wasn't somewhat successful. So appreciate all of you guys. I'll be your voice, hopefully, in these meetings as we move forward. Now, though, it's time to get to work, and got a couple other things to talk about today. Last day before the festival. Lots of busy bees working down there. So pumped about that meeting. I think there's going to be a lot of great videos that come out of that. I'm going to try to get a full interview with G.T. Thompson on the podcast someday soon. And then a lot of people like Paul Burgad from Burgad Industries that has done huge industrial expansion in the county in the last year, and planning more in the future. Hopefully we're going to talk to him too and get some different videos done out there. New development in town we need to talk about. I don't know what that's all about, but hope everybody's okay. Anyways, it's the end of the day, so I skipped the entire 8-hour workday for your it was for your benefit. Nothing much happened. Today's video is actually prompted from a comment that I got the other day asking me if I had heard about the town's new vacancy ordinance. I had heard about the vacancy ordinance. I actually knew about it before it was even voted on, and I got to make some comments to a couple of our council members on it, but I'm very much a proponent of the vacancy ordinance. But let me tell you first a little bit about what it is, and then I'll tell you why I'm supportive of it. So the vacancy ordinance is basically being put in place to make sure that if you own a property within Kittanning Borough, you need to use that property. So if you have a house, it needs to be lived in. If you have a commercial building, you need to put a business in there or rent it out. It can't just sit empty for years and years like we've seen with so many buildings downtown and so many residential properties throughout the borough. If after 1 year you haven't done anything with your property, you begin with a fine of $250 a year, and it goes all the way up to year 10, you actually have a fine of $5,000 per year. So it's a pretty hefty fine structure, but it does have a way to get out of the fine and still have a vacant property. The way to do that is to prove to the borough that you are working on the property, that you are improving it every single year, and that you're working towards getting it occupied. So let me give you just a couple examples here. This former jewelry shop has actually been vacant ever since I moved to Kittanning. On top of that, this giant building behind me has been vacant for at least 5 years, and this big green one over here has been vacant for several years as well. The old Cozy Cafe still has a vacant storefront, which has been there since I moved here. And the old Rite Aid building you guys know about as well. So why would somebody like me, who's against government regulation and who owns a property in Kittanning Borough, why would I be in favor of something like this? Well, it goes back a couple years when I started this channel. See, I've been talking about vacant properties for almost 2 years now, and nothing's really happened since then. We've been talking about the same buildings for the last 2 years, and I'm sick and tired of talking about them, to be quite honest. And I don't know if it's coincidence or not, but this old cozy cafe, within just a couple weeks of that ordinance coming about, there's a for rent sign in here now. You guys may or may not remember, but this window at the old Hutchinson's Jewelry building was actually broken for several years. Within just a couple weeks of this ordinance coming out, I don't know if it's coincidence or not, but this window has been replaced. I've said it before on this channel, and I'm going to say it again today. I think proper government regulation is all about incentives. Those incentives can be positive or they can be negative. You need to either offer a carrot to get business owners or homeowners to do what you want them to do, or you need to provide a stick. You need to provide a fine structure that's going to hurt bad enough that people will quit doing the thing that you don't want them to do anymore. I really believe that Kittanning Borough has done a great job looking for incentives. They fought really hard for the recent facade improvement grant, so there's $50,000 in matching money out there to help local businesses improve their properties and improve their facades of their buildings. And so they've done a good job providing the carrot, and now I believe that this is a good job putting in an effective stick, putting in an effective regulation that will hopefully help to move these buildings toward occupancy. We desperately need buildings to fill up downtown. I know that there are business owners out there willing to do it, but unfortunately our property owners have not had the proper incentives to make that happen. My hope is that this is going to be a huge step in the right direction, and I can't wait to see how it works. It's pretty rare for me to see any kind of government regulation have two very clear positive outcomes so quickly. So that just makes me very excited for Kittanning's business district. It makes me very excited for our residential streets as well, because there are many properties in the borough that have been vacant well north of 10 years, and it's far past time that Kittanning Borough did something to try to make that a little bit more painful for those property owners. Vacant houses turn into blighted houses, so we need to eliminate vacant houses to help eliminate blight. Makes sense to me. Hey buddy, how are you? Yeah. Little homestead update too tonight. Such a perfect night. Had a little storm front go through, but it didn't rain at all, and it just cooled off. It's wonderful out here right now. You gonna help me out? Yeah? You wanna do the camera? So the garden looks pretty good. It's a little bit of a mess, but it's way better than last year at this time, so I can't complain. Got our mulch worker here, killing it. Gonna start by clearing out all these weeds here. All these. Got a little harvest for our trouble there. Some new potatoes, fingerlings, big zucchini, and a whole mess of cucumbers. Also found 2 eggs in the garden, so someone's been in here that shouldn't be. Now we gotta get some mulch and put it on that. So Joey and I got all that done there. What do you want to go look at now? What?
Grapes.
Grapes. You go check them out?
Yeah.
Starting to be a little more urgency in my gardening because the days are already getting shorter. I don't know if you've noticed, but August starts tomorrow, and last month of summer, it's gone by way too fast.
Look at the grapes.
Oh, yep, they are coming, huh? Coming slowly. I don't know if I'm gonna get many grapes this year because I don't know. I still haven't quite figured out how to prune them. 2 years ago I cut them all the way back, and it helped them a lot. I actually got a really nice little harvest, and now this year they're overgrown again, and I need to probably prune them every year in some fashion, but I'm just not sure. Figure it out eventually, I guess. You okay over there?
Yeah, but that was fun.
Is it fun? Got countertops full of food here. And it's apple season as well, on top of all that. It's the new apple butter recipe. Crock pot of apples, 2 cups of sugar, 3 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. Cook it all night, ready in the morning. Bunch of chicken food too. I am whipped. See you guys tomorrow.